What is it?
Listen.
You told me.
You forgot.
That was a gunshot, sir.
Yes, it was.
From inside the dining room.
Don't be silly. Nobody takes guns into dining rooms.
Emma, stop your prattling.
It might be Tony in there.
Where are the others? Howard and Felix?
Felix went upstairs to get some cigarettes.
And I thought Howard was in the library.
No, he isn't.
Well, for God's sake, let's get in there.
And then there were 8.
Suicide.
The gun is well out of his reach.
He killed the girl, then shot himself. Stands to reason.
There's no reason for any of this.
Oh, yes, there's a reason for all of it. The time change, the murders, the barrier around this house.
It's just very difficult for Miles to pinpoint.
If you don't pinpoint it quickly, there won't be any of us left to care. Care.
All irregularities will be handled by the forces controlling each dimension. Transuranic heavy elements may not be used where there is life. Medium atomic weights are available. Gold, lead, copper, jet, diamond, radium, sapphire, silver, and steel. Sapphire and steel have been assigned.
No, nobody else. I can't bear
Perhaps
it.
you'll take the ladies back to the drawing room, sir.
Very good idea. Come on, everybody, let's get out of here. Excuse me, Miss Emma.
I must get Greville to tidy up in here before dinner, Greville.
We know that Tony Purnell was in love with Anne Shaw, Mulreen's secretary.
Not necessarily in love. He was using her.
There's a difference?
On this planet, yes.
Veronica Blamey was in the way.
I'd say so.
Is that strong enough motive for murder?
It depends what he was using her for, what he wanted from her.
Access to Mulreen's office records. His plans for the future. George McDee's notes from 50 years ago. Are any of those sufficient motive?
Who has a motive to kill Tony Purnell?
Well, Purnell's a bankers to Mulreen International. Maybe it has something to do with the bank. Could the bank be in trouble?
No, the motives are irrelevant. They're merely part of the setting, part of the time change.
Merely for more than murders?
The clues are here. We already have them.
We have?
Do you remember when I first met Veronica Blamey?
Yes, what about it?
I received information about her birth and background, but not that she was going to die.
Well, either you made a mistake, or Veronica Blamey isn't dead.
And assuming that.
Neither is Tony Purnell.
Tony Purnell and Veronica Blamey. I wonder what the link is.
Well, they came here together. He's 25, she's 24. They're the two youngest.
I don't mean the link between them. I mean the link between them and 1930.
The two youngest, killing them off one by one, starting with the youngest.
Steel.
What is it?
It's getting closer.
Yes, but where?
It's very close.
You realize it's fooling us, don't you? Drawing us further and further away from the truth. It's setting us puzzles about these murders that it knows we're innately bound to solve.
So are we. Miles and Virginia.
What are you talking about?
It's having to deal with us on more than one level. As Sapphire and Steel and as Miles and Virginia.
And as long as it has to deal with them...
We stand a chance of winning.
Yes, well, I wonder where the next puzzle is coming from.
Look. The molecular structure is altering.
It's going back in time.
No, Steel.
Back 50 years.
It's aging.
Yes, it's going backwards.
Steel, things age forwards. From 1930 to 1980. Look at the dust. The cobwebs. This is as it would have been if it had lain here for 50 years. McD.
Yes, but look at it. There's not a mark on it. No oxidization, no dust, nothing.
It's in a different time frame. Steel. That gun is going to be used again.
Where are we, Sapphire? Get us back. Now!
God, this is ridiculous.
Howard, you look dreadful.
Where the devil have you been, Howard?
Trying to get out of here. It's absolutely impossible. So there are an impenetrable barrier across all the windows and doors. Do you know most of the servants have left?
See, Arthur, you can't depend on servants at all these days.
Well, Greville is still here. You can always depend on him.
Well, Greville is special.
Oh, Felix.
Darling, have I missed anything?
Yes, you have. Purnell is dead.
Good grief.
So where the devil have you been?
Well, it's slightly embarrassing in mixed company. Rather too much of your excellent champagne. Had to pump ship.
Took you long enough.
How did Purnell die?
He was shot through the heart.
Shot through the heart.
Yes.
Howard McD, do you own a revolver?
Yes, I do. I've had it for ages. My father gave it to me.
And where is that revolver now?
Upstairs in my suitcase.
No, I'm afraid it isn't.
How are you? Are you accusing Howard, Mr. Cavendish?
Yes, I recognize that. That's yours, Howard.
It was in the other room, close to the body. Still warm when I picked it up.
I haven't been anywhere near the dining room. Well, I mean, I assume it was in the dining room.
That's enough. I will not have Howard intimidated in this way.
How do you intimidate a blackmailer, Mrs. McD?
Blackmailer?
Your precious Howard. He'd been blackmailing Tony Purnell for ages.
Why should Howard do a thing like that?
Tony'd been filching money from his father's bank.
It's all a lie, Grandmama.
I'm afraid it's true, Felicity. Tony made a clean breast of it a few days ago. His father was going to make good all the money he embezzled.
On one condition, that Tony went to the police.
But you had to stop Tony from doing that. Didn't you, Howard?
I haven't killed anybody. This is a monstrous suggestion. Oh, this is absurd. I'm going to see for myself.
This gets crazier by the minute.
Howard is right. There is no body. There is no evidence
But
whatsoever.
you said that you saw...
I saw 2 murders, Felix. 2 bodies. The Blamey girl and young Purnell.
Yes, that is what you saw. But I don't think Tony Purnell was responsible for the knife in Veronica Blamey's back. Nor do I think Howard McD shot Tony Purnell.
Thank you.
You mean somebody else is the killer?
Someone else is responsible, yes. And I don't think they've finished yet.
If
In fact,
one green bottle should accidentally fall...
No, Felicity, that's the wrong tune. Listen. If one green bottle should
That's
accidentally
right.
fall, there'll be 7 green bottles hanging on the wall. 7 green bottles hanging on the wall. 7 green bottles hanging on the wall. And if one green bottle should accidentally fall, there'll be 6.
You're sure you only touched the barrel?
Of course.
6 green bottles hanging on the wall. 6 green bottles hanging on the wall. And if one green bottle should accidentally fall.
They are real.
Both of them?
Yes. The knife has been used hundreds of times by many people. It was made in Sheffield in 1924 and brought into this house by Greville.
Who used it on Veronica Blamey?
No living soul.
And the revolver? Who used it on Purnell?
No living soul.
In this house, Sapphire, something hidden, something disguised.
A force inhabiting something.
Yes, well, tell me some more about that.
It was made in Birmingham in 1928 and brought into this house by George McD.
can't tell who used it on Purnell?
No living soul.
Yeah, well, that's not going to tell us much.
Oh, it's all so eerie. Dreadful things keep happening. Do you know what I think?
No one cares, Emma.
I think it's a poltergeist. I think it's a dear little poltergeist trying to tell us something.
I'm not sorry about this.
Who do you suppose could have killed Tony Purnell?
If anybody did.
What are you talking about, Howard? We all saw the body.
Yes, but can you see it now?
That's right, dear. You stand up for yourself.
Until they put a rope round your neck and you can't anymore.
Now then, Felix, there's no time for any more games. Not even hangman before dinner.
Oh, do keep quiet, you silly old sausage.
Don't be rude, Arthur. Not even to Emma.
Really, Arthur.
Did you learn anything?
A need to kill in this house.
Then we are its only obstacle. It's having to concentrate on us.
The power resides in this house. Everything else is irrelevant to the central intention.
Which is?
The need to retrace the years back to 1930. Until time takes a different course.
What can I say, Felix, except it's been in the family for years?
You still can't deny the fact that it was your gun. And you did have a motive.
Would appear so, yes.
I don't think Miles would agree with you.
What the devil does he know about it? Come to think of it, who the hell is he anyway?
Now, mind your language, Howard. In front of the ladies.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry.
Think nothing of it.
I wasn't talking to you. There we are, Grandmama.
Oh, thank you, Malcolm.
I must say, I wish somebody could tell me what on earth is going on around here.
I'll second that.
Well, the same, you know, Arthur, Howard does have a point. I mean, here we are, all friends together.
Ha ha.
At least we all know a very great deal about each other. Except for the Cavendishes, about whom we know nothing.
They are my guests, and that should be good enough.
All you can tell us about him is that he's in futures. Where did you meet him, Arthur?
I met him at my club. He introduced himself, and we got talking business.
And now you're perfectly happy to let him undertake the investigation of 2 apparent murders?
Yes,
Why?
because he's qualified.
You were right.
What?
The motives for the murders are irrelevant. What do you mean by a different course?
An uncontrollable disaster in the middle of 1930.
And no one knew?
Well, it was frustrated on June the 22nd, 50 years ago.
So now it's going to take us back to that day and then rearrange the events that followed. And for that
It needs George McD. It can't let him die. If it can keep him alive, he will accidentally cause the disaster. Life will end on this planet.
Does it need any of the other people in this house? Felix and Annabel Harborough, Howard McD, Emma, the others?
They're living in a void, in a vacuum.
Have any of them been taken over?
Ah. So this is where you two lovely people are hiding.
Well, we weren't exactly hiding.
Well, whatever you were doing, you'll have to stop it now.
Dinner?
We've decided to eat at last.
Miles.
We've put it off quite long enough. Greville's getting exasperated, I can tell. And if Cook goes into a sulk, the pudding will be a disaster.
Ah, Cavendish. We're led to believe that you're a qualified detective.
In a way, yes.
What precisely do you mean by that?
I'm a specialized investigator.
In futures. Perhaps he works out who's going to commit the crime before it happens, eh? Well, you did mention that you were in the futures market.
How absolutely fascinating.
Well?
Can you guess who'll be next?
Well, since you ask, yes, I can.
So that's why you haven't asked us what we were doing at the time of the murders.
Perhaps you can tell us what we're going to be doing at the time of the next murder, eh?
If I were you, Mr. McD, I wouldn't take the next few hours too lightly.
Dinner is served, sir.
Dinner. Splendid. Come along, everybody. Now then, who's going to take in who? We've got a rather special jug here tonight. It's excellent. Arthur shot it himself.
Oh, Arthur's rather a dab hand with a gun, aren't you, Arthur?
It's not the shooting of the hare that matters, it's the excitement of the watching and waiting.
I don't mind trying to eat the poor creature, Arthur, but I will not listen to the details of it.
I love my brother dearly, but he's too fond of shooting things. Ooh.
Oh, this is too wretched. I shan't be able to eat a thing.
Oh, Cook will be so disappointed. Do try, Felicity. Won't you sit down, everybody?
Sapphire.
The rule is to start from the outside and work your way through to the last fork and spoon.
I'm sorry, Miss Emma, but I'm afraid I'm not very hungry either.
Oh, what a shame. I do like to see good appetites around me.
In spite of what may have happened, to take them away.
Oh, yes. We must eat, drink, and be merry. For tomorrow... Oh, Greville, what am I saying?
I know it's awful, but I feel ravenous.
Annabelle, how can you be so callous?
I can't help it.
Annabelle's appetites thrive on crisis.
Rather like my thirst.
George, darling.
Hello. Oh, Emma.
Hello? I hope you don't mind. I had to see you.
George? George, darling.
Hello. Oh, Emma.
Hello? I hope you don't mind. I had to see you.
This is idiotic, Emma.
You told her?
Not yet. Turn that thing down, will you? I've been too busy here.
You promised you'd tell her.
And I will, really, I will.
When?
Very soon, I promise. Now, you be a good girl and get out of here before anybody notices.
If they do notice... I only came to say we're just starting dinner.
Aye, well, you be a good girl and get along without me. I'll be along in a minute.
Yes. George,
Yes?
shall I see you tonight?
Yes, of course.
Come to my room when she's in bed and asleep. When they're all asleep. I'll be waiting.
This chap who had a couple of drinks said to Emma, "Do you know the road to Mandalay?" And she said, "Yes. Shall I sing it?" And he said, "No, take it." I thought that was rather funny. Oh, there you are, Emma.
We were just talking about you.
We missed you, Emma.
I've just been making sure everything's all right in the kitchen. Somebody had to give cook a hand.
I see no one had the courtesy to wait for me.
You know you don't like being disturbed when you're working, George.
Revel, you've kept something for Mr. McD, haven't you?
Yes, Miss Emma?
There's a draft in that drawing room.
Yes, there is. I noticed it earlier. It chilled me to the bone.
It's always been there, George.
You won't find it much warmer in here.
Oh, look, it's midsummer.
The night of the summer solstice.
No doubt you're qualified to tell us all about it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, it's the points on the elliptic which mark...
Miles, you can tell me.
It's the points on the elliptic that mark the Earth's position at the sun's extreme limit of distance, north and south of the equator.
Fascinating.
It's all double Dutch to me.
It's the longest day of the year. We have very little control over our fates on the night of June the 21st.
Oh, dear.
Rubbish. A sensible man can always control his own fate.
Do you think so, Mr. McD?
Show me a sensible...
They all seem to be accepting his presence now.
Howard isn't.
Shall I serve it now, sir, or wait until the ladies have retired?
I, for one, have no intention of retiring, Arthur.
Safety in numbers, eh, Felicity?
Quite right. I think we should all stay together.
Oh, I don't think we should stay while Elena's smoking.
Nonsense, Emma. We're all going to stick together.
Oh, serve the port, Greville, and let's get it over with.
Yes, sir. For you?
No, it makes me livery. Start at the other end.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cavendish. Sir.
Oh, come along, man. It's with you.
Yes.
You're not drinking, Cavendish.
If you're not, would you mind passing it?
Oh, sorry.
Good God, man, clockwise.
Oh, shut up, Howard.
Sapphire? What is going on?
It's the custom here to pass this particular drink to the left.
Why?
Well, it's just one of their childish superstitions.
May I offer you the first toast of the evening?
Oh, no speech is
To
hard.
Mulreen and McD. To the millions they will make out of other people's pain and misery. To our hosts, charlatans and purveyors of blood.
Howard, you are a pest.
Who are you?
I'm...
Do you think he's drunk, Arthur? A bit squiffy?
On the contrary, I'm afraid he's a bit dead.